Hi everyone! I'm going to do an airbrush base on Sunday. I'm going to use normal concealer underneath, and then I'm going to airbrush her skin to give her a flawless finish on top, and I'm going to put a little highlight in with the airbrush as well. I'm going to start by giving her some moisturizer and eye cream. This is one of my new favorites. It's by a company in California called Lily Bee. Starting with the eye cream, look up for me, Sunday. Making sure that you start with moisturizer, some kind of prepping of the skin, is always going to give your final makeup a much better look, that flawless finish that you want. Now I'm working in some moisturizer, just to give myself a nice, clean start for her skin. And then I'm following up with a hydrating serum, also by Lily Bee. And I'm just working that into the skin. So first I'm going to start with concealer now that her skin is prepped. Concealer or cream blush is always going to go on underneath of the airbrush foundation. I'm going to use Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics concealer in mostly R1 with a little bit of R0. I'm going to use a beauty blender, which I really prefer to use. Look up for me, Sunday. And just use a gentle tapping motion. And look up for me. Doing the same thing on the other eye with the same color. I also really like to put concealer on the lids as well. I feel like it primes the lid for me when I go in with eyeshadow. Now it's time to start airbrushing. I'm going to use Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics airbrush in Y1 and Y2 to start and see how I like those colors. I'm turning my machine on. This is a nice little portable unit which I love to use. And I'm just back bubbling a little bit by covering the tip of the airbrush gun just to get a nice mix of the two colors, Y1 and Y2, that I put in there. Now I'm going to make sure that this is at a nice comfortable level. I can adjust my pressure right there. And then you just gently pull back and you start moving the airbrush gun in a small circular motion. And then you're just going to keep the gun moving at all times, just so that you get a nice, even application. This is a water-based product. It's very safe. You can breathe it in. I am going to take this down on her neck a little bit just to ensure that everything's blending really nicely. And something that you'll see with airbrush is that the longer she wears it, after a good 10 minutes or so, the color will really start to settle down into her skin. If you see any spots that you really want to cover, you can do a little rocking motion in and out to cover that spot. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do some highlight on her skin. I'm going to use a highlight color called Priss. I'm going to go along right on her cheekbone area and a little bit on the temple. And if I do this, you can really see that shine pick up. So this is a personal preference thing for you, how much shimmer you like, how much shine you want. You can come down the center of the face too, give some shine there. You can also get the Cupid's bow right above the lip. So to complete our base, two things to look out for. One, sometimes the spray can get in the eyelashes and can get in the eyebrows. With the eyelashes, it's not a problem. You're just going to finish with mascara after you've completed all the airbrush makeup. With the eyebrows, you can take a mascara wand or spoolie and just comb through, and it should come right out. If you need to, you can wet this with a little bit of water, and it will take the color out, the overspray. I'm going to finish the base look with a little bit of powder. I'm going to use a nice loose powder with a little bit quality to it for her, since she has a lot of yellow in her skin right now. So I have my brush loaded up with a little bit of that pink powder. Now for her, this airbrush formula that I used is a matte finish, so I don't really need to powder all over. I'm just gonna powder in specific spots that I want. So everything in the center of the face. And I'm being very, very light with my touch with the brush because the whole advantage of airbrush foundation is the finish. And there you have an airbrush base. So just to recap everything that we did as far as her base is concerned, this was an airbrush base look. We concealed first. I concealed all around her eye areas, and I just used a little bit around here as well. Then I matched her skin a little bit more to her body. I followed up with highlight on her cheekbone area and right down the center of her face and a little bit on her Cupid's bow. Then I finished with a nice loose powder that had a little bit of a pink tone to it. Now she's ready for the rest of her application. She's ready for some eyes, mascara, brows, and lips. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you Sunday for being our lovely model. I'm Emily Ansel. My website is emilyansel.com. I'm a makeup artist here in New York City.